1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing his gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bahashem Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. The brother Quanah Watts from the Arizona Great Millstone Camp coming back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Lord will, it is edifying. Lord will, it is straight to the point. Hey, man. Look at what it says, man. Right? It says right here, this is an article, which the brother Yuana had ultimately posted, in the chat. It says W.E.F. says CBDCs must be implanted under your skin if you want to participate in society. Hey, beginning with the elder apostles on down to the elder bishops, elders, and Akim that have been pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity, have been saying this for years, for decades, right? The elder apostles have been saying it for decades, right? Brothers been saying it for years, that this is what's ultimately going to take place, man, right? That the prophecy of Revelations 13 and 16 is going to take place here soon. And now you're seeing the W.E.F, Klaus Schwab, and his little, his little sidekick, Yuval Harari, however you say his fucking name, that little flamer, or they have came out and said and confirmed what the prophets have been telling you for decades, man. We're here, man. We're at the end. We are at the freaking end, man. It's a matter of time, man. It's a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. I'm gonna get into this article, man. This is a heavy article, man. Then we're gonna hit some precepts, man. Actually, as we read the article, we'll add some precepts as well. But it says the W.E.F. has declared that all citizens, right? Matter of fact, let's grab this right now, right? Because again, it's the scriptures say, that everybody is going to have to take this, right? Revelation 13 and 16. It says that he causeth all, right? Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. There you go, man. So just confirmation, man, what they're saying. This is confirmation. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, that this is going to happen, man. The Lord just putting it on their spirit to ultimately, confirm, right, what the Lord's prophets have been saying, right? Isaiah, the 44th chapter, in the 26th verse, man. The Lord confirmeth the word of his prophets, and he's doing that, man. And it says, what? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you have to have this charagma, this RFID micro CHIP, because that's what it is. It's proof, right? None of what backstabbing Bishop Nathaniel or whatever the fuck you want to call him now, or whatever he wants to call himself, whatever title he wants to call himself, right? All these other, Israelite leaders and stuff like that. It's not what they're saying. It's not sin. It's not white women. It's not sanctioned embargoes. It's proof, man. Esau himself just came out and proved what the elder apostles through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai have been teaching for decades, man. That it is the RFID micro CHIP. There's nothing that you can say to try to dispute that, man. This is the truth, man. Let's get back to it, man. It says the W.E.F. has declared that all citizens must be implanted with a CBDC micro CHIP in the very near future in order to be able to fully participate in society and do basic things such as purchase food and water, man. Come on now. It can't get any more plain than that. What other article or what other information has to be brought out for you people to get it, that this is the micro CHIP is the MO to the TB, right? Revelation 13 and 16, the mark, which is, go into the Greek, it says charagma, right? Which it says what? A thing implanted. Matter of fact, let's go and prove that, man. Revelations 13 and verse 16, right? We'll get that word right here. Strong's 5480. Strong's G 5480, right? Charagma, right? It says a stamp, an imprinted mark, right? It says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right? It says a thing carved, sculpted, graven work, you know. This is something that's ultimately implanted into you, man, you know. Now let's go grab this right here. It says this is a Karax, right? This is the device that they're ultimately going to be using, right, to put this micro C-hip in you, right? It says what? It says it says Karax. It says a pale or stake or palisade, man, right? Something that has a point, you know, which is like a needle, man, you know. This is what it is, man, and we already had seen, right, over, you know, going back years ago, man, over there in Sweden, right, they were ultimately putting the Charagma within them, man, you know, which they were doing it here in America, I think, you know, early as well, not too long after, you know, they were doing it. I think it was 2012, they were doing it and in 2014, they were doing it here in America, man, right, there was a whole company in Missouri that did it, man, it was like 1,000+ employees, you know. So it's been here, right? But it's now being made 100%, 144% obvious, right? That this is exactly what it is, right? All this debate that's been happening, right, over the last few years, few decades, few years, right? Now it's undisputable, man, what it is, right? The Lord had it being brought out exactly what it is, man. It is the micro C-hip, man. You know? It matches up with prophecy, you know. You know, in Salakia, man, I'm a little excited, man, because hey, call law Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. Call law Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. That means we ain't got damn near no time left, man, until this shit pops off, man. You know. And I'll continue to read. It says, according to Professor Richard Werner, in the very near future, citizens will need to use the latest technology such as the CBDC C-hip implant in order to access their bank accounts, man. You ain't going to be able to buy or sell, man. They're going to lock everything down, you know? And this is a fairly long, you know, article. Hey, you know, through the Spirit, Lord will, we can get it all, man. It's heavy. Right, says Professor Richard A. Werner is an economist and professor of banking and finance. He is known as the proponent of a new post-crisis monetary policy he called quantitative easing, which he proposed in Japan in 1995 as chief economist of a British investment bank. Right, and we're ultimately, as we read, right, we'll get an understanding of what, you know, that quantitative easing, you know, was ultimately set up to do. Right, it says he also worked. He has also worked as a researcher at the University of Oxford, the Bank of Japan, the Development Bank of Japan, and the Asian Development Bank. He is involved in supporting the establishment of not-for-profit community banks through an initiative called Local First CIC. Right? It says exposednews.com reports at the Amsterdam Science Summit 2022, Professor Werner gave a lecture on central bank digital currencies and the 2030 agenda, right? So that right there, just putting them together, right? Because again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We understand when they talk about, you know, Agenda 2030, right? We understand that all roads lead back to this Charagma, man. All roads lead back to Esau Edom's agenda and him trying to establish this agenda, right? Him trying to ultimately establish full control over literally every aspect of everyone's lives, man. You know? Because this is what it's all about. Esau Edom wants that control, right? Let's bring out 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, right? So he wants to be in that power seat, man, right? He wants to be in and have all the power that the Most High has, man, when in reality, he's just a human, right? And the Lord, the scriptures say that the deceived and the deceiver are his, right? So Esau Edom truly believes that he can set himself up as the Most High, when in reality, he can't, The Lord's not going to allow him to fully, establish his enterprise, man, But we'll get to that, man, right? It says, at the sidelines of this year's Amsterdam Science Summit, he spoke to Ivor Cummins about CBDCs and how inflation has been orchestrated by central banks to further their agenda. Again, we knew this. We knew what what was happening, man. We knew why these things were going on. When the whole, these tanker ports, you know what I mean? These ports, where these big ass, tanker ships, they bring in these connexes full of produce and stuff like that. When that ultimately was shut down and there was no product coming in, right? We understand that it was a man-made situation, a man-made crisis, right? Because again, Esau Edom has an agenda, and he is ultimately a part of his agenda is to create the chaos, right? We see that the solution, right, which is the charagma, right? The RFID micro C-HIP is already here. It's already been, created, right? They're already producing it, right, on mass levels, right? All he needs is that chaos to ultimately, reign forth, right? So that way the people are looking to this damn devil for a solution, and he's going to offer, right, this charagma, man, This is what's going to take place, man. It says there are two aspects of QE monetary policies that Professor Werner proposed, QE1 and QE2. QE1 is for the central bank to step in and purchase the non-performing assets in the banking system. The central banks buy up non-performing assets at face value, and the problem is solved. Banks have a strong balance sheet, but that won't be enough to get banks to increase credit. So Professor Werner proposed QE2, which allows the central banks to force the banks to create more money and push it into the economy, right? It says this would be accomplished with central banks buying assets, example, property, from the non-bank sectors, right? The money the non-bank sectors receive from the sale of the property would then be deposited into the seller's bank account. When an economy has experienced deflation, that's how central banks can push money into the economy directly, right? Causing that inflation, right? It says, women are fucking stupid. Anyways, it says QE1 followed by Japan in the 1980s. QE1 was followed by Japan in the 1980s, but the U.S. disallowed Japan subsequently using QE2. And then out of the blue and at the wrong time, QE2 was adopted by the U.S. Federal Reserve and other central banks in March 2020, which is when the lockdown happened, man. So of course, right, Esau Edom is ultimately, under the cover of, certain crises, Esau will sit there and do what, man? Which, mind you, these crises that Esau Edom, or these crises that ultimately arise, Esau Edom causes them, man. Right? Just as going back to, 9/11, man. Right? Esau Edom ultimately staged that whole event so that way he can bring forth the Patriot Act, which allows him to look into, and invade people's privacy, man. To monitor people, to be able to sit there and track and trace and to gather up data, on the people, man. This is Esau Edom's MO, man. So it's not surprising, right, to those that are ultimately in the know. It's not surprising that this damn devil would do something like this, man. Keep reading. It says the intention of adopting QE2 at that time was to cause high inflation. Which when that whole situation happened, again, what happened? The borders shut down, right? No one was able to fly in or fly out. Product wasn't coming in or coming out, right? Which ultimately caused what? The little supply that was left, right? For prices to go up, right? Because again, supply and demand, that's how it works, right? The demand goes up, the supply goes down, which means prices go up, right? When supply is up and that means demand goes down, which means prices go down, right? Because again, it's not as needed, it's not as high value, right? So therefore prices go down, Well, guess what? Esau caused all these situations to take place so that way the inflation can happen, so that way he can destroy this petrodollar, right? This fiat dollar, in order to bring in this new currency. This is why, again, this whole CBDC situation has been going on around the whole world, man. Right? Again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We understand what's going on, and we've been telling you people what's going on and what this damn devil's agenda is. And now it's being confirmed 100%, man. It says, why to move economies onto a CBD system, right? It says you have to think of CBDCs as a control system or a permit system, not a currency. Again, it's all about control, right? He wants to be able to, and this is, again, going back to, which brothers have talked about before, right? Going back to, New York, right? When that Mayor Adams, he sat there and said, what, man? Which Klaus Schwab has done, has said it too, right? But they want to be able to track your carbon footprint, right? How much meat you eat, how much you drive, right? How much carbon dioxide, you're driving, when basically how much you breathe. But they want to be able to control even the smallest thing, how many hairs on your head. That's what Esau Edom wants, man. How much hair you shed every day, right? It's all about fucking control, man. This is his MO, man. Yes, it is. In reality, it's not even a different currency. It's just this fucking fiat dollar, just in a digital form. So it's really nothing new. But he's passing it off as a new, something new, right? Because these people, they're all about the next new thing, the next big thing, Throughout time, Esau's been having the people focused on the newest thing, the newest phone, the newest car, the newest whatever it is, man. So he's got people basically right where he wants them, man. And of course, this isn't being pushed on mainstream media, right? So the average person doesn't know what's going on, right? They don't know that this was just said, right? The article states it was only 4 hours ago, man. 4.5, 5 hours ago, right? So this is fairly new news, fairly new information, right? But the average person doesn't know this, man. And again, this is why the Lord set up his prophets to warn the people, to push out this information, But again, majority of people aren't going to listen to this information, or the majority of people are going to write this off. They might listen, but they're going to be like, nah, that's not what it is. While you people are conspiracy theorists, right? You people are fools. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not, the government wouldn't do that, right? That's the mindset of the people, man. They're so simple, right? Simple-minded, right? And foolish, right? Especially Jake, But let's read this. This is a quote, right? It says, it's a conditional currency based on you actually getting that permit. Now, if you happen to be some kind of critic of government policy or a critic of central banks, this could be difficult. Or if you dare to step out of the 15-minute city zones, again, that's our control, right? That 15-minute cities, which they're stating that the first 15-minute city here in America will be in Cleveland, Ohio. And again, they set up situations, right? These crises such as train derailments and, these, what is it? Chemical spills and stuff like that, so that they can go and say, hey, well, these lands are not, deemed livable because of these chemicals and stuff like that, and push everybody into the city, right? And then say, you know what? We need more control, more restrictions, right? So they're gonna say, okay, well, cool. Here's your 15-minute travel time. Here's your 15-minute travel, and so on and so forth. If you go outside of that, well, then guess what? Now you're in trouble, right? It says, or if you dare to step out of the 15-minute city zone, maybe you'll find that, oh, my CBDC is not working. Which again, we've seen a video brothers had done of this woman that was in Australia. Right? What happened? She was sitting there bragging about, oh, I got this, the Karagma, this, that, and what she called it, the little rice grain, whatever, She said, oh, I got it, this, that, and the third. And what happened? There was another video posted right after that. What? She was locked out of her home, locked out of her bank account, this, that, and the third. So these things are very possible. This isn't far-fetched. right? This is what's going to take place. You people, if you even think, something that Esau Edom doesn't want you to think, then guess what? He's going to lock you out of the system. It says, of course, there are things we've seen already in China. So it said, of course, these are things we've seen already in China. There's plenty of videos where somebody tries to use it to buy a ticket and it doesn't work because his social credit scores are low. And how are your social credit scores ultimately going to be calculated, right? It's by you being, a quote unquote perfect citizen in Esau society, right? You obeying every single thing that he tells you to do, whether you like it or not. That's how your credit score is ultimately going to be, calculated. Right? The more things that you do that he doesn't like, right? The lower your score is, the less access to things that you'll have. Right? You might have money in your bank account, but you won't be able to access it. Right? And then he's going to say that you only have a certain period of time to be able to access those funds, and then they're going to disappear and you won't be able to use them. So this is a complete and utter dystopia that Esau Edom is trying to set up. Right? It says, and effectively, there's no real right to appeal. With very few people controlling the very many, the controllers will use computers and algorithms to run the system. If you appeal the blocking of CBDCs, you'll be dealing with automated responses, right? It says, Professor Werner explained that the central planners, as he calls them, orchestrate inflation to cover up changes to banking system. Again, they bring forth this crises, right? These many crises that have happened, right, have all been, a distraction to pass his laws, to pass his, policies and so on and so forth, man. It says, for example, in the 1970s, high inflation was orchestrated to cover up the move of the gold-backed U.S. dollar to the petrodollar, right? It says, and the high inflation we've experienced in 2021-22 has been orchestrated to cover up the move from the petrodollar to CBDCs, right? So there's no new thing under the sun, man. Just as they did it back then, right? 50 some years ago? I think it was like 60 some years ago. Now they're doing it again. So this is Esau Edom's MO, man. We're seeing that pattern. I don't think there's too much more on this, right? It says, right? It says in March 2020, the Federal Reserve and other key central banks adopted QE2, a recommendation for deflation or a shrinking economy. In March 2020, economies weren't shrinking, but the Federal Reserve adopted QE2 and bought up assets from non-banks, forcing banks to create credit. It was very clear it was going to create inflation, right? This was not an error in judgment. It was intentional. Professor Werner explained it was a very specific policy that is very rarely taken. Proof that this was a deliberate action, Professor Werner said, was that just before the Crown Vic Royale in August 2019, there was a conference in Jackson Hole of an annual central bankers conference, but it invited BlackRock, the big asset manager, and BlackRock made a proposal. They said there will be another crisis, but this time we should create inflation. They never explain why. They just say we must create inflation, and here's how we're going to do it. And they cited my proposal without mentioning my name, of course. Right? It says, and there's one more factor. Professor Werner said, the Federal Reserve hired BlackRock in March 2020 to buy assets. QE was for a deflationary situation, but the way they were using it had to cause inflation, and there was no doubt. And they knew it, because they even said it. Right? Here's a quote. It says, so this current inflation is entirely intentionally created by the central banks, by the central planners. So how are we going to punish them for this? Oh, let's give them more power. Let's give them unprecedented power over everything, over life on earth through central bank digital currencies. Right? Preventing you people from being able to do what you want to do. Right? It says, the true reason I think why they wanted this inflation, because it is Slack it. The true reason I think they slack it. The true reason I think why they wanted this inflation, because this is to cover up essentially the disintegration of the petrodollar and move to the new system, which they want to be CBDC based, right? Everything digital, so that way they're able to control. Because with the dollar, right, they're not able to track and trace, right, your purchases and stuff like that if you use cash, right? This is why they're, they come up with situations like, saying, the Crown Vic Royale, can be on your dollar and it can spread through the dollar and this, that, and the third, man. Scaring everybody, saying, I don't want to use cash. I don't want to use cash, right? Pushing everybody away from cash, right? Away from this fiat dollar, right? Towards the more digital side of finances, man. More digital side of the currency, right? That's already in place, Again, this is why you see a lot of these banks, which I think it was in 2020 going into 2021, you've seen a lot of bank branches start to close down all over the world, right? ATMs being removed, right? In Australia, really all over the world as well, And again, a lot less bankers, bank tellers, right? Everything, you walk into a bank and everything's digital, So yeah, this is what it's all about, man. It says at the moment there's talks about CBDCs being used via phone-based apps, right? Which is they're coming out with this Fed Now, man. Here in America, they're coming out with Fed Now, man. It's basically already out. They're just ultimately, they want to get more, I guess, companies on board, which really you already have. Was it 57? Major. Well, Wells Fargo's, Chase, and so on and so forth, right? Major banks, right? New York Bank, Mellon or something like that. A lot of these banks are getting on board already, man. And these are major banks. These aren't small banks. These are major banks, which a lot of these major banks are buying up these smaller banks, man. So again, really all these banks eventually are going to be on board, man. It says, yes, this is the initial phase, but what was already ready around 2015 is the ultimate goal. What they really want, apparently, I was told by a central banker, is CBDC looks like a small grain of rice that they want to put under your skin. Again, the little rice grain thing, man. Right? Again, further proof that the RFID microchip is the MO to the TB, right? The charagma, man. Right? Further destroying the doctrine, right, of these false prophets out here, man. It says, which is my view, a violation of human dignity, and they realize there is a hurdle to get people to accept this. Proof Warner said, right, man, right? So they're going to try anything and everything they can, right? Just like going back to the Crown Vic Royale, they were trying to bribe everybody, right? With $100, $30, free food, free lap dance, all these different things to get people to take this icky vicky, man. Scriptures say bribery is in their hand, right? Let's grab that. I think it's Psalms 26. Psalms 26, and I'll start verse 9. It says, gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men. And that's Esau Edom, man. The number one bloody man. Right? Esau Edom's hands is covered in blood, man. Right? His whole existence is covered in blood. Right? The blood of the children of Israel, man. And this is why the Lord's ultimately going to destroy this place, man. Because this land is defiled with blood. And the only way to cleanse this place is to shed the blood of him that shed it, man. So Esau's going to have his payback here soon, man. Verse 10, here's the point. It says, in whose hand is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes, man. So Esau Edom is, man. And all he's doing is deceiving you people, right? He's not telling you what the ultimate goal is, why he wants you to take it. He's just saying, hey, this is good for you, this, and the third. Hey, but this damn devil ain't never going to fucking tell you the real reason, right? Scriptures say, matter of fact, let's grab that too, right? This is Psalms chapter 10 and verse 7. It says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, right? You go into that word deceit, it goes into misrepresent and to conceal the truth, man. Right? He ain't never going to tell you the truth. He's a fucking liar, man. So, of course, right? He's going to sit here and tell you all these good things on how it's going to benefit you, how it's going to make your life easier, right? Just like the Crown Vic Royale, right? It's going to protect you and your loved ones, right? It's going to prevent you from getting sick. And then what happened? All the truth actually came out when the prophets have been saying the truth. While he was giving you all this fucking lies and deceit, the prophets were giving you the truth. Like, don't listen to this damn devil, man. Right? Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, right? The prophets are telling you this. Right? Telling you never trust this damn devil. That he has an ulterior motive. That all these different things were in this fucking potion, you know? And that it was ultimately going to kill you people and make you people sick. You know? You even had Kill Gates talking about, you know what I mean? If they do good job with the Icky Vicky, right? That they can decrease the population by 10 to 15%. Brothers was doing videos on it, man. Brothers was getting their channel struck. Brothers was going on Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, posting these videos, right? And then you know posting the link on their YouTube channel so they wouldn't get their YouTube struck down. So people can see these videos and see the information that's being put out there, right? But again, what do people do? Right? They cast it off. They're like, nah. Most people didn't even listen to what was being said, man. You know, and that's why you see majority of people dying now from this Icky Vicky. Because again, what the prophet said was true. You know? and again, what the prophets are saying now is true as well, man. You know, that this is ultimately gonna be the death of you if you take this charagma, man. No matter what he tries to bribe you to do, no matter what he tries to tell you, oh, well, if you don't take it, well, we're going to kill you and your family, or if you don't take it, you're not going to be able to pay your bills, or whatever he says, man. Fuck this damn devil, man, and his system, man. You know? Let's go back and finish this off. There's only last two paragraphs, right? It says, so they're using crisis, disruption, and unemployment to introduce universal basic income, or UBI, to soften the public up to accepting a CBDC chip, C-hip implanted under their skin. You will get 2,000 euros into your account every month. But of course, to run this efficiently, they'll say, we need to use the latest technology, so you need the CBDC C-hip implant. Right, man? You know? Let's grab this. This is Psalms chapter 55. And verse 21, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So it's saying, hey, you know what I mean? You'll be able to continue. We're going to give you basic, we're going to pay you, right? We're going to pay you to live. We're going to pay you to work. We're going to pay you this and the third, right? You don't have to do anything. The only thing that you have to do, right, in order to get it, right? And from that point, you won't have to do anything. The only thing you need to do to get it is to be able to, you know, take this charagma, man. You know? They're gonna speak smooth words. They're gonna speak, and it's gonna sound real good, man. It's gonna sound like the best thing ever. You mean I'm gonna get free money? All I gotta do is take this? I already got a phone. I already got this and the third. I mean, I already pay with my phone. I do the tap already, so why not? It's gonna make my life easier, right? He's gonna play on your people's your want for convenience. He's gonna, man. Esau is going to sit there and try anything and everything that he can do or say to get you people to take it, man. Hey, but again, the prophets are out here warning you people, do not take this charagma, man. No matter what he tells you to do not take this charagma. You will be destroyed. You will be killed, man. You know, pursuing to Revelations, the 14th chapter, beginning at the 9th verse, and we'll read. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So, hey, the Lord is going to send down those ICBM nuclear missiles to fire your ass up, as well as the lasers from the chariots, man. You're going to die. You're going to be destroyed. This is what Esau Edom is not telling you, man. That it is ultimately a sin for you to take this charagma, man. Right? Leviticus states that Leviticus, I think it's the 19th chapter, around the 5th and 6th verse, states that you're not supposed to implant matter of fact, let's grab that. Right? Because it's against the law, such commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai for you to ultimately, make any cuttings in your flesh, man. Oh, Slucky, it's Leviticus 19 and 20. Oh, Slakia. 27. I'll start at verse. Matter of fact, just getting to point 28. Leviticus 19:28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. So you ultimately taking this charagma, that's you sinning, man. You're sinning against the Lord. And we know that what? Romans 6:23. The wages of sin is death. Right? So again, do not take this charagma. You will be put to death by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. This is what Esau Edom is not telling you people, man. Right? The scriptures tell you that he deceived them who took the mark. Right? Revelations the 19th chapter. He deceived you. He's deceiving you people into taking this. Right? We're going to start to see a lot more, bribery from this damn devil. We're going to start to see a lot more, of Esau Edom ultimately trying to butter you people up to take it, man. This is the time that we're in, man. And again, a lot of you people, man, you better, you better get right with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. You better get right with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because this is the time that we're in, right? The prophecy of Revelations 13 and 16, right? Where he's ultimately going to force the people to take it, right? Because again, right, he's as it stated in the article, he's going to have a hard time, or he is having a hard time getting people to, accept, this charagma. And this is why he's going to bring forth the UBI. This is why he's going to, offer more. He's going to offer, all these different things, right? He's going to create the chaos. He's going to make it to where the dollar's completely done, right? He's going to make it to where people are going to look for a solution, right? Right now, he's talking about, he's saying, hey, you know what? It can heal the people, right? It can heal you of your sicknesses and this, that, and the third, right? Pursuing Revelations 13 and 14, right? Those miracles that are being done, right? People are, you had a dude that's able to walk now, right? You got people that are able to see, people are able to hear, So he's doing these miracles, right? And showing you people that, hey, this is, quote unquote, a beneficial thing, But again, not everybody's going to take it, right? So what he's going to do, he's going to pull more, rabbits out of his hat, man. More tricks out of his back pocket, right? Trying to get you people to take it. And he's going to make it look as sweet as candy, man. And again, he's going to get a lot of you people. He's going to trick a lot of you people. And a lot of you people are going to take it, man. But for those that come across this message or these videos, right? That go into information such as this and go into the scriptures and tell you, hey, we can give you proof that, hey, you don't want to take it. Because if you take it, you will be destroyed, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's solid, set in stone. You can't repent from taking that, man. Where does it say that you can ultimately take it back out, or you can receive it, use it for a little bit, take it out, and then you know what I mean? You good, right? You say, oh, I repent from taking it. No, you took it. Those that took it are going to be destroyed, man. Do not take this charagma, man. Even if it means you being put to death, for standing stiffly for the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. It don't matter, man. It don't matter. It does not matter. Do not take this charagma, no matter what. We're in this time, man. We're in the time where Esau's about to come down and force his charagma, man. Let me grab this. And I don't want to speak on this too long, man. But this is heavy. This is a heavy time period we're in, man. Right? The elder apostle to heart through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai deemed this year what? The hopeful year all prophecies come to pass. And we're starting to see that Revelation 13 and 16 is coming to pass right before our eyes. Right? As the Lord said it would, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak. And hey, come on now. Come on now. We just read the article. It's speaking, right? The Lord literally confirmed what the charagma is. Right? There's no disputing it, man. Right? It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. Right, man? And we're in that time. You know? So get prepared, man. Get right with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Seek the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai while he may be found. Isaiah 55:6. Right? Because we're at the end. Right? Soon martial law is going to kick off. Right? There's going to be nothing but chaos. You know? And that's when Esau Edom is going to force that charagma, man. That's when he's going to come down having great wrath and force this charagma on the masses, man. You know? But for those that are of the household of faith, man, we don't care. Right? A lot easier said than done. But hey, man, we're going to stand in our faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, even unto death. Scriptures say to strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. You know, hey, so we're gonna deny this damn devil, this charagma in his system, all the way to our death, man. You know, fuck this damn devil, man. Hey, the Lord ain't gonna allow this damn devil to fully establish his enterprise, man. So we, at the end of the day, the Lord's the one that's in control. We know that, man. You know, so no matter what he tries to do. And we understand the Lord is going to remove this damn devil out the way, man. You know? But I don't want to talk on it too much, man. I just want to, ultimately get that out there, get this information out there, man. Letting the masses know, hey, we're at the end, man. We're in the absolute end. You know, matter of fact, let me grab this. You know, this is Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. It says, and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, man. Rub that crust out your eyes, man. You know? Get up out the bed, man. You know, open up the Bible, man, and start reading. Pull up on YouTube, Great Millstone. Type in Great Millstone. And get edified, man. Get the proper, the true breakdowns from the true prophets, man. Right? Because the Lord just proved, he just proved who the true prophets are, man. He just proved it. He just proved it, man. Everyone else is a fucking fraud. False prophets, man. And the Lord's going to bring that destruction upon you false prophets, man. Jeremiah 23:1. Hey, man, we're at the end, man. Wake up. Where it says, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. And that's right, man. We're at the end, man. Call hello, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. We're almost out of here, man. So with that, Lord will was edifying, Lord will straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rachak Wadash, double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millstone. Till next time I say shalom.